Hello, V Squad. Welcome back to another episode of V Girl TV. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my canal de YouTube, and I am back with another video. So this video is going to be about pretty much what the title says it's going to be about, but I'm here to help out any woman or anyone who is an American citizen and has a baby in Panama or have a baby in Panama or is preparing to give birth in Panama. This video is for you. So if you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that this information could be useful, please send it. Please like, share, and comment in the comment section below, because this is definitely going to help some people out, because this is obviously something that I personally went through, something that I dealt with, and a lot of the things that I went through, especially being as though a lot of things aren't operating because of COVID. You can't just like walk in like before. So this will be pretty helpful to somebody. So for those of you who've been following me for the longest, you already know that I had a baby 3 months ago, and I had my baby in Panama at Punta Pacifica Hospital, right? So one of the most important things, at least for me, because of the line of work that I do, I travel a lot. I wanted to get my daughter a passport. Now, although she is a born Panamanian, I actually wanted to register her under the American embassy, under the American government. Why did I choose to do that? For obvious reasons, right? When traveling, a lot of places that you travel to, American citizens do not need a visa to enter certain countries. Unless you're going to places like Cuba or places where there's an embargo, you can't go in. But my daughter does not have a Panamanian passport. Everyone's telling me that I should get her one. That's just something up in the air that I'm thinking about. Not really sure what are the benefits of getting her a Panamanian passport at this time. So I'm not really sure about that. So I'm not going to make a comment. But as far as I was concerned, I wanted her to have an American passport. I wanted her to be registered as an American citizen, to have dual citizenship. And obvious reasons, like when we traveling, it's a lot easier for her to travel to for us to travel to the U.S. One. Number two, when traveling from Panama, a lot of places don't have direct flights to certain areas, and they don't have a lot of flights to certain areas, which means that you would have to go to the U.S., like Miami, like fly from Panama to Miami to fly to like other places. And obviously, if you are Panamanian, you need a visa to enter the U.S. So for me, it just made sense for her to get an American passport. So one thing I did want to mention to you before I jump in, when you are going to apply for your passport, for your child's passport, you're actually paying $235, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they changed it since then, but you're literally getting the child's passport, and you're also getting, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. You're getting a counselor report of birth abroad. So this is what it looks like. I don't want to show my daughter's information on here, but basically it's like a birth certificate, and it's just basically saying that your child is an American citizen of the United States, but they were just born abroad. And basically what this documentation is what you're going to need to apply for your Social Security, which I will do in another video, your child's Social Security, which I'll be doing in another video. You're going to use this if you decide to enroll your child in school in the States. You're going to need this information. So basically any paperwork that you are dealing with the government, with your child, you're going to need this certificate. So although you are applying for a passport and the cost is a little pricey, which is $235, it's not only the passport, you're also getting this certificate, which is super important. So make sure you look out for the next video, which would be about how to apply for your child's Social Security, because that itself, child, it's a hot mess. Basically, what I had experienced trying to get her passport during this time was It was a lot. It was very crazy, honestly. Because the embassy, you can't walk in. You have to make an appointment now because of COVID restrictions. I made an appointment 3 months prior to me giving birth. So when you try to go onto the embassy's website, it basically says that there's no appointments available. If you try, they aren't appointments until 2024, especially for what I was trying to do. So I literally emailed the embassy, and I emailed directly saying that, oh, I needed well, actually, no, that's not what happened. I emailed the embassy at first requesting an appointment. The person, because I tried to do the appointment online and it was giving me like 2024. I emailed a person, the embassy directly, and they tried to tell me that I had to go to the website to get an appointment. And then I expressed that I can't wait until 2024 to get an appointment to get a passport. Like, I needed the passport ASAP. They left me en visto, like what you would call it. And so then I ended up going on Facebook and directly messaging the embassy directly. And I ended up getting an appointment for April 26th of 2022. I gave birth in March 2022, right? I didn't request the appointment. I requested the appointment while I was still pregnant. So that's an important takeaway, guys. Right now, if you are pregnant, if you know anyone that is pregnant and they're looking to make an appointment, make sure you get an appointment now, okay? Make an appointment now, even though the baby is not here. That way, in 2-3 months when your baby is here, you are good to go. And then on top of that, you want to make sure that you have all your documents and everything filled out. Don't be like me, right? So once my baby is here, they sent me an email. Once I got an appointment, they told me to email a specific email with my email address. And then I was corresponding with the person via email at the embassy. And they gave me a list of all the documentation that I needed to apply for a passport for my daughter. So I'm going to let you know, it's not hard, but it is a little bit tedious. Right? So the first thing that you are going to do is download the application for a U.S. passport. It's called the DS-11 form. You can literally just go on Google and put in DS-11 form or put in application for new passport. You're going to fill that out. Obviously, mom's information, dad's information. The easiest thing to do is to go to the embassy with both parents there. Okay? It makes the process so much easier, but you know, things happen, right? So in the event that the father is not there, you're going to have to fill out a letter of consent form that you get off of the U.S. Embassy website. So you can literally just go in and just Google U.S. passport consent form of a minor. So that parent is going to fill out that form. And the thing is with this, it has to be the original documents. It cannot be a copy. Don't be like me. Don't be like me, okay? There's two things you don't want to do. Number one, you don't want to submit copies of the original forms, which is the U.S. passport and the consent form. And number two, do not get it notarized in Panama. It has to be notarized by a U.S. notary, okay? Two takeaways, right? So for example, my daughter's father, when I was doing her passport, he had to leave to go back to work. And so I needed a consent form. So he fills out the consent form. He goes and he takes the consent form to a notary. Make sure that he signs it, okay? Or he or she, whatever parent, has to sign the form. There's a little line on the form that if you don't really pay close attention, you can go past it and you won't sign it. Because it says, please stop here. You're supposed to sign it in front of the notary. So make sure that it's signed. Okay, and it has to be the original copy. So in the event mom or dad is not there, that original copy needs to be sent to Panama. So you're either going to send it USPS if you have a P.O. box, which will delay the process. Because even if you ship it overnight, USPS, United States Postal Service, USPS, yeah, United States Postal Service, it takes so much longer than FedEx or DHL. So you want to FedEx it or DHL it. If you're in a rush, it has to be done overnight. It has to be the original copy. Whatever ID dad or mom uses on the consent form is going to be the same exact copy of the ID that you're going to use to present to the U.S. Embassy. So for example, if mom or dad uses a New York State driver's license to get the paperwork notarized, mom and dad needs to send a copy of the New York State driver's license or wherever state driver's license along with the notary, with the consent form, okay? So I'm gonna explain it again because sometimes I could be a little bit confusing. With the consent form, they're gonna ask you for an ID, right? If dad presents a passport, which I believe is the best thing to do, is to submit a passport, and I'm gonna explain to you why. If mom or dad shows a U.S. passport, as a form of identification, mom or dad, they need to send a copy of that passport as well, because you're going to need to present that to the embassy. Why I say present a U.S. passport is because a U.S. passport is the easiest way to show U.S. citizenship, okay? So driver's license is okay, but federal issued government ID is so much easier, I'm sorry. So a passport would be the best option, okay? Once you get the consent form and you have a copy of the ID, that's gonna go in your pack because you're gonna have to present that to the embassy. Baby's birth certificate. So in my issue, or why I was so concerned, is because the birth certificate had a little error, a spelling error on there that Panama did not want to fix, or they still haven't fixed. And I was kind of concerned because I'm like, oh my God, I have to present this document to the American embassy. I don't want this name to go on there like that. Honestly speaking, it really doesn't matter. The U.S. government does not recognize, they really don't recognize that. So that's actually a plus. You're allowed to do a name change. So in my instance, that third that I had a problem with the last name was not on it. They literally ask you, what name do you want to put, or how do you want it to be presented? So that wasn't an issue, okay? Another thing that you need to know is that the birth certificate needs to be apostilled, okay? So you're going to have to take it to, I think I already did a video on this. If you need information about that, getting a document authenticated or apostilled, I will leave the link to that video because you're going to need this information to do this process. So that birth certificate needs to be taken to the tribunal. The tribunal then needs to authenticate this document. So once you do that, you're going to have to take obviously you get the birth certificate. You have to get a copy of the birth certificate, which you can get at the grocery store for about $5. You're going to take that birth certificate and you're going to take the birth certificate and take it to the tribunal, okay? Once you take it to the tribunal, you're going to ask for Direction of Regional Registration Civil of Panama certificate. That's how it translate, okay? This is what they're going to give you. This is basically a form. It's a written form of the birth certificate. So basically everything that is on the birth certificate is going to be written here, and it's basically I don't want to say it's a note. It's just basically a piece of paper, basically solidifying that your child is your child and she was born in Panama and whatever date, basically what's on the information. And then this paper has to be taken to get apostilled. And like I said, I'll leave the link for that video. And then once it is certified by the Panamanian government, they'll put this little thing in the back, basically saying that, yeah, you're good to go, okay? So this also needs to be submitted with the paperwork to the embassy. Another thing that you're gonna need to do is you're gonna have to get a passport picture done, okay? For a baby, it was super hard to get her to sit still, but we got it done. You can either get passport pictures taken outside or you can get it done in the embassy. It's a little expensive. It's like $5 and change for this, and you get 4 pictures. Yeah, okay? So that's another thing that you're gonna need. Then you're going to have to prove citizenship, guys. So even if you were born in Panama, okay, and this is for people who think that they can just have babies in America. Why did I say for born in Panama? This is for people who are born in America. And this is especially important for people who think that you're going to have a baby in America and then you're going to leave the country, and then when the child turns 18 or whatever age, they are automatically entitled to American benefits. It doesn't work like that. In order for me to give my daughter citizenship, I had to prove that I lived in Panama for more than 5 years, I think it is. You have to prove that. So how are you going to prove that? Either you have a W-2 form from a job, okay, from a company, or you can, if you went to school, you can show your transcript. If you went to elementary school, junior high school, you could show, you have to get a transcript. So in my case, the easiest and the fastest and the quickest way for me to prove my citizenship and to prove that I lived in America for more than 5 years was for me to show a college transcript. So what I did was I called my school. Thank God now you can just you can go online, you can apply online, and they send you a copy of your transcript right away. So it doesn't have to be an official transcript. It can be an unofficial transcript. You submit that along with the paperwork in the packet. You need to do that. And then once you've submitted that, you submit also a copy of mom or dad's ID. If both parents are there, it is super easy. But if one parent cannot be there, this is what you're going to have to do. The one thing that I want to say is when you're getting the birth certificate authenticated by the tribunal and the apostle, one thing you need to know is that this is going to take the longest out of the whole entire process. This is the longest. So this is why you need time to prepare. So literally, if you know your due date is going to be like, let's say your due date is going to be August 1st, try to get the appointment for August, like September, like 1 month, because everything takes time. And you know, when you're in Panama, you know, we work on Panamanian time, so it's not going to be quick, boom. No, it's not. Okay. To get the documents, apostle, you literally have to leave it there. You have to make an appointment online even. That's another thing. So you have to make an appointment. They give you an appointment for 3 days later for you to even just submit the documentation. Then you have to come back the following day to pick up the documentation. So let's just say that in itself is like a week process. And then for you to get this document from the tribunal that itself is another process because it takes about a week, and the fee is about $35. I don't know if it increased since then because things are always changing, but everything is associated with a fee. So for example, getting this document, it was $35. Okay. The passport picture was another $5. There was one more thing that I had to pay for. I'm trying to remember what it was at this time. Yes, paying for this piece of paper, basically authenticating the paperwork that you got at the tribunal. That is also another fee, which you would have to go into the bank to pay that. It's called a timbre. And it's like $1 and $2 that you have to do. You have to pay directly to Banco Nacional. And that's a whole nother process. I think I already explained that in another video. If I don't, I'll probably do another updated video. And once you have all your documents and you submit all your documents, you pretty much have to wait. But the good thing about the embassy is that if you have a very close date that you are going to be traveling, you can actually reach out to them and say, hey, you know, I'm traveling, can we get this sped up? And they will help you out to get the passport a little bit faster. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. I hope that it helps someone. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Put on your post notifications so every time I upload a video, you get the notification. And thank you so much for always tuning in to my shenanigans. And as usual, guys, peace and love.